Okay. Good morning. Good morning, friends. Oh, hopefully I didn't just screw up the centering situation. Good morning. I am Jack Doherty. This is Jack Unmasked. Welcome back. Um, it's not, the sun has not come up yet, so I have had to use the old kitchen lighting. I think it's still a few minutes before 6. It might be 6 a.m. out here in Venice. Um, but yeah, I just walked in the door from the gym. I got up at about 4:15 this morning out in Riverside. My son drove back out here, hit the gym, got to the gym about 25 past 5 or so. Gotta, I don't go crazy long at the gym. I just do enough and get moving, continue with my life. Excuse me. But I figured I'd check in. This is me. Uh, I haven't showered. I just woke up, came out to the gym, and here we are. I haven't even had a sip of my coffee yet. I got the old protein shake so that my workout was not so that it's not wasted. Um, when I was driving this morning, I was thinking about. So when I worked out, I listened to the Bible Project. It's a great podcast. I've mentioned it many times, and it got me thinking about spirituality and things greater than myself, and it made me think of uh, there's a meeting around the corner, and there was sometimes they'll do these like topics or questions, and one of the questions, man, I don't even remember, months ago, one of the questions was, what does your higher power look like? And someone this woman with I don't know, 13 plus years, um, her answer was, something to the effect of, I don't know what it looks like, and I'm glad that I don't, because that way I can't judge it um, based on what I see or what I think I see. And I think at the time I found that, I think I felt like it was a cop out, because I was kind of interested to hear what someone what someone's higher power looks like. But the more time went on, the more I think about it, I think it's a wonderful answer. Um, but I also started thinking about um, like the morning meditations at the sober living houses, and sometimes people ask me, guys in the houses will ask me questions about what I believe in, what my higher power is, and recently, within the last few days, I was chatting with a newer guy about it, because he's trying to get a grasp on um, just the world outside of himself, really, because in our addictions, we're very self centered. I guess I'll speak for myself. In my addiction, I was very self centered and selfish. And, I thought that when I closed my eyes, the world went on pause until until I opened them back up. Um, I mean, like, I truly believe that. Nothing else, nothing outside of my bubble mattered to me in the slightest. And so, there's one of the new guys who's really trying to get it. Um, was asking me about my higher power, and you know, I have so many answers, because you know, outside of the 12-step program, I'm a big Jesus guy. Um, but I don't know that it matters, but inside the program, I'm still a big Jesus guy. It's not like that goes away, but I just feel like, for me personally, there's more to it. Like, I don't narrow it down that far, as when speaking to newer guys, or people in the program, as far as my higher power goes, because sometimes when I pray, or if I'm, maybe not specifically praying, but maybe I'm just grateful for something, so I'm kind of just like speaking, not really out loud, but in my mind, to something else. I'll just call it praying for the sake of conversation, so I don't have to keep stumbling over my words trying to explain what I'm talking about. So sometimes I'll pray to Bumpa, my grandfather, who has passed. Excuse me. Sometimes I'll pray to God. Sometimes I'll sorry. Sometimes I'll pray to one of my childhood best friends, who passed far too early from cancer, Stacy. Sometimes I'll pray to Riley. So sometimes I'll pray to my great grandparents who have passed. To me, it doesn't, just the act of me lifting stuff up, and giving it away, or asking for strength, or, I did a panel last weekend, and, beforehand, I just kind of pray for my message to be concise, and to bring some wisdom, but to me, all of those things that I'm praying to are the same, whether it's Jesus, God, my grandfather, Riley, who has passed. To me, all of those things are the same. Like, but not the same, but the same as, like, the Super Bowl is to an episode of Severance, or, you know, uh, the Brady Bunch, NCIS. Although the Super Bowl and the Brady Bunch are two obviously different things, you know, from an outside perspective, it's just all entertainment. Watching the Super Bowl on the television, or watching the Addams Family, although they are different, they're both geared to do the same thing. They're both just on the television to entertain me. And although they're very different, just like my Riley is different than Jesus. If for me, if I take a step back, it's all the same. And I I don't see the added benefit, or like the return on investment, of trying to chisel away at all the fine details to make this concrete picture of what I believe, because I believe all sorts of things at different times, and all different people believe all different things. It's just the belief, to have a belief in something. And excuse me, I'm sorry. um I don't know, I was thinking about that, and that what I just said might make no sense. It might not make 1 ounce of sense to anyone, or maybe it does. Maybe it's the most profound thing you'll hear all day. I doubt it, but if that happens to be the case, amazing. But that was just I was thinking a lot about that, because I've seen people have a really hard time and struggle with the higher power thing, because they were raised Catholic, and so they have this fixed idea on what it's supposed to be that they're praying to, or how they're supposed to pray, or um, I don't. I believe you can choose your own. You know, um, People might not agree with me, but in my personal life, with the people that I deal with the it's just better for me to portray it honestly, and in, you know, edible bites that aren't gonna choke someone. Sometimes too much information all at once can chase people away from things. Um, and so I really try. I'm kind of all over the place right now because my early in the morning, I kind of have a lot of different thoughts. It's quiet. I get nobody to distract me. I haven't taken in any social media or television or I didn't even listen to anything on the ride, on the 90-minute ride out here from Riverside this morning. I had my AirPods in with like the noise canceling, but I didn't even put anything on. Just one of those mornings where I was just kind of thinking about stuff. And I was talking to one of the guys that lives at the house's mother about meetings and her expectations of what she hopes will happen while he's at the house. And I explained to her, so we're chatting, and she's like, what you're saying, I love what you're saying. Is there any way you can force my son to hear you? And it's like, no, no. And I was honest with her, and I told her, there's between 10 and 14 guys at each one of these houses, and I only have so much time in the day. I can only do so much. So, I personally speak to people who want to listen. I'm not, and I don't know if she'd like to hear that or not, but I was honest with her. Like, and I told her, I don't go into, I'm not going to go into one of these guys' bedrooms and be like, hey, check this out. This is the way, this is the way I live. This is the way you need to live. That's not what I do. If one of the guys approaches me and says, hey, I have a question. I was wondering about this. Or, hey, what do you do on a daily basis? Hey, how do you, if your girlfriend makes you feel this sort of way, how do you deal with that? What do you do? Then I will take as much time as they need and sit there and talk with them and ask questions and explain what I do right and what I do wrong. But in no way am I going to waste my time forcing myself on anyone, really, in any capacity in my life these days. And maybe that's good, maybe it's bad, but that's the way I do it because unfortunately, most guys don't stay clean, and I just know from personal experience that my time and effort is better spent on people who want it, because they say in the program, it's not this program isn't for people that need it, it's for people that want it. There are probably tens, if not hundreds of millions of people who need it, but it only works for the people who want it. And so, I put a great deal of time and energy into the people who need it. There's the same guy that I'm talking about who's really trying. We have book studies, impromptu book studies with, three of us at the house randomly for 20 or 30 minutes. Because he wants to change. And if someone wants to change, I mean, it's so beautiful. It's an amazing thing to see, and it's an even more amazing thing to be a part of. And I would never deny anyone reaching out their hand saying, "Hey, I'm willing, but I don't know what I'm doing." I mean, that's what it's all about. That's what many people did for me for free when I didn't know how to live and I needed help. And so I'll do that, you know. as often and as thorough as I can. But I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna waste my time trying to tell, a 22-year-old kid as a 40-year-old man how to be a mature adult. That's just, unless they come to me and ask me what that looks like, because I'm just not going to waste my time. I was 22 before, and I know what that looks like and feels like. And I wasn't hearing anything from anybody. I thought I was the smartest kid in the room, even though I didn't go to college. I thought I was the best looking guy around, even though I was on opiates and weighed 130 pounds. There was no telling me otherwise. Probably thought I was the toughest kid in the room, even though I've been in less than a handful of fights. Like, it's just delusional. My ego was out of control. And no matter how much time anyone spent trying to tell me the right way to live, I was incapable of hearing it. Not that I didn't want to hear it, I was just incapable. I just wasn't ready. Like, if somebody was trying to give me directions in Spanish and I hadn't learned Spanish yet, no matter how good those directions are that they're giving me are, I can't hear it. Like, I'm not equipped to comprehend Spanish yet. I haven't learned it. And yeah, that's those are the silly few thoughts that were on my mind this morning. This is what Jack looks like when he wakes up and goes to the gym and hasn't showered. And that's okay. I'm honest, and I just come as I am. I'm very proud of what I started and we have built together here. And so I'm going to try and give back and show you with my time. Shout out to Jesse Tillman. Sending me a Instagram message this morning. Appreciate you. Excuse me. Shout out to Chicago. Brian M's also out there. Yeah, I hope you all have a blessed day. I smell, and so it's time for me to drink my protein shake and get in the shower. I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you. Love you all.